Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry, I got preoccupied on Twitter. Lost my track of time, and so we're up. Okay, crazy day today, right? Elections are going on. It looks like Trump might be the victor here, which is great. I think it's a little too early to tell right now or to call. We still have a ways to go, but things are looking like that. At least Bitcoin's pumping. It went up to 75,000 a day in the last hour or so. It's come back down a little bit. But man, it's like Bitcoin's pricing the victory in for Trump here, it looks like. So we'll see how it goes. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the show today. We'll be going probably for about an hour or so. We got Cipher, Hive, and Terawulf reporting their production updates for October. We also had a story from, who was the story from? I'm drawing a blank here right now. It was, no, that's it. That's all we had. Okay, so those three. We'll cover the other ones that reported, which is, I believe, IREN. No, IREN has not reported yet. CORZ has reported. Somebody else has reported as well tomorrow in tomorrow's stream. But we'll get through all that, okay? So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. This is, unprecedented. Bitcoin is up huge right now, which is great. But we'll get through all that. But as always, you guys know the drill here. Non-financial advice retained only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into Bitcoin here really quick and the miners. Miners had a really good day today, but Bitcoin had an even better day today. Right now it's having a huge day. It's up 7% already as it is. It's at 74,519. We peaked at 75,000. If you guys know and follow Mike Alfred, I was feeling a little pain for Mike Alfred here because he wrote, if Bitcoin breaks 75,420 by tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, which is right now, so it didn't break that, so he's in the clear. I will give 3 lucky followers who like and retweet this one whole Bitcoin, a Model X plaid, bottle of Pappy 23, all expense paid, trip to Barcelona, including first class airfare and 5-star hotel and private jet card with 250,000 value. If I was him, I would have been sweating bullets at that point when Bitcoin got to 75,000 and you still had a ways to go. So, Mike, you definitely got lucky on that. Congrats to you. You definitely called it a little higher than where it got today by 11 o'clock. So, congrats. And then I just replied to him, Mike, are you sweating a little bit right now? That's when Bitcoin was at 75,000. And if you guys remember this movie, this was from the movie, what was this movie from? Salt. Was it Salt, I think? Great movie. But classic scene there from the actor. I can't remember his name right now, but that was fun. All right, getting back here to Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners here. Bitcoin's still doing really good. It's... let's see, 74,600. Yeah, we're up huge. Miners did really good today also. We had BitTier being up the most, 9.5%, followed by Riot being up 8.13%. So, Christian, nice day for you on Riot there. We also had Cleanspark being up 7.76%, and the rest were up. And the Hot 8 was also 7.58. So, it was a great day for the miners. It's going to be interesting to see how the miners do tomorrow. I think some of you guys are reporting that Riot is already up 14% on the day already in after hours right now. So we'll see. We broke past that barrier of the new all-time high. Now it's basically, we're going to be looking for what's our next resistance line, right? Right now it's just going to be going crazy potentially. The good thing was in the last couple of days, we did have a rough 6 days here with Bitcoin going down. We bounced off of that trending downwards support line more or less. We bounced off of it. That's been a good sign here. So I think it's clear blue skies ahead of us for the time being. We could get to 80,000 maybe even by the end of this week if things play out this way. We might have a little pullback. I think the RSI is still pretty healthy. We could go up more as well. But I think if we do get a concrete victory for Trump, we might do very, very well here. All right. So that is it on that. Let's see where the network hash rate is right now, if it's changing anything or not. It's still actually on the 7 days, it's actually come down to, what is it at? 732, 721 exahash. If we look at the 30-day average also, we can see that's come down a little bit, but it's going back up to 702 exahash. All right. So that's it on that. Let's take a look at the stories that we do have here, which is going to be, let's take a look at the latest that we have on the numbers here. So this is what I'm seeing at least right now from News Nation. Let me see. I'm going to update that really quick, see if that has changed at all for you guys. I'm sure you guys were probably watching it anyways on a separate screen, but I just wanted to see what's going on here really quick as well. See where we are right now since it's been a while. So we're still at 246. Okay, 162. Yep, Camilla got California, which is kind of what I figured would happen. We do have some swing states still open: Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Maine as well. it looks like. We got Arizona also in question. So it's going to be a long night, I think, with all the stuff that's happening here. And why does this keep popping up? Get rid of that. All right. Let's get into the stories that we do have here, and we'll get into your Q&A as well. So Cipher Mining announces October update here. Pretty short and sweet. BTC mined 168. It also includes 30 BTC that was mined at the JV data centers representing Cipher's ownership of it. Let's see. Bitcoin sold was 248. Bitcoin held was 1,428. And then the monthly end of operating hash rate was 10.7. And that was basically it here. You guys can read the rest of it here. So we'll just get into my spreadsheet that I do have on Cipher here. Cipher as of today had 347 million shares outstanding. Stock price at 532. Market cap 1.8 billion. Stock price has done actually pretty well here over the last 12 weeks. It's up 36% from 12 weeks ago, almost 70% from 8 weeks ago, 25% from 4 weeks ago, and then last week it was actually down, like a lot of miners were down last week, so not a big deal there. I do have my 10.7 exahash right now. Bitcoin hodl 1,428. That gives about 93 million in value right now, and this was with Bitcoin's price for today when it ended, so it's not the latest numbers that we have here for Bitcoin. And then you can see their Bitcoin self-mined here is what I'm tracking. So it's difference from what they reported at 168. I'm at 144 roughly on that based on what I could figure out. So I may have to adjust some numbers on it based on what they reported here. Because it's tough when they don't report the differences between the hash rate that they have for self-mining and JVs. It gets a little bit challenging at times. Revenue has also come up here a little bit to 9.5. It's still nowhere near where it was in March at 18.8, so they're still halfway down from that. And that's a result of just a slow increase in hash rate, I think. And you can also see that in the Bitcoin production here over the last couple months here. It looks like 6 months after the halving event, it's been 147, down to 135, back up to 144. So, right, we have the impact of the network hash rate going up, difficulty, all that is contributing to it. And if they're not growing faster than that with their own miners being installed, then that's going to have an impact on it. Okay, BTC hodl here also peaked in August with 2,284. They sold a bunch here, about 923 in September, and that was to pay for the sites they were buying. They get them to 1,512, and it's down to 1,428 now, so they must have used some more cash to fund that as well. All right. Let's see here. Hash rate has been increasing, like I said before, but it's definitely slowed down. It's not as much. They did install about, I mean, they had a good month here in October. They installed, what was it? I think that's number is off probably. Yeah, it looks like I maybe missed that one for the update. Yep, October. There we go. 1.4 exahash being added. So that was actually a pretty good month for them for installation there. Other than that, it was pretty light installation overall. But October was definitely a nice month for them. Bitcoin sold, we talked about that. BTC per exahash efficiency, pretty low here. 15.7, that's pretty low. And then BTC sold value, how much they sold each month here over the last 12 months. We'll get into those numbers here in a second here. Institutions and analysts here, as of yesterday, was 242, so that was a nice increase that we saw there. Shares increased as well a little bit, 106.9 million. We still have 6 buy ratings, or strong buy ratings, 4 buy ratings, 1 hold rating. Price targets actually went up for the high to $11. The average stayed, actually went up a little bit here, 762, and the low stayed the same on it. Right, and this is what I have for their JVs here. So it's, like I said, it's challenging when they don't split that stuff out. So I'm doing a lot of best guess estimates as far as what's going on here. But for October, I had them operating for about 22 days on average. We got some new miners installed operating for about 20 days on average, roughly. And that's how we got the numbers below on everything here. So not great uptime here. I'm surprised by Cipher. I would have thought they would have had better uptime, especially as we get into colder months, September, October, and things like that. Which they had actually pretty good operating uptime here in July. They were like at 28 days. August was a little bit less, 23, but I would have thought they would have went up a little bit here for them. Okay, looking at the numbers here, looking at the last 3 quarters, which is actual numbers. And let me see, are we using the actual numbers here for this stuff? Yeah, we're using the actual numbers for it. September 24, 102. Yep, I was off on that one. Okay. And then the current quarter that we're in, which is estimated, I'm in between 399 to 598. If we look at the revenue production for October times 12 months, I'm in between 328 and 492, right? They're at 532 right now. I think they're fairly valued based on this. The reason I think they're valued the way they are right now is because of the HPCI potential that they have there with the sites that they do have here. And that's giving them a nice boost in price stock appreciation, basically. If it wasn't for that, I think they might have been actually lower than this, because based on what they have here in operations and things like that, they're definitely getting overvalued for that, at least right now. Okay, but they do have a lot of megawatts available to them down the line as well. A lot of their growth is going to be happening in 2025, towards the middle of the year, towards the end of the year as well. So they do have a lot more growth here, and we'll see what they do with these sites they do have for be getting a contract there for HPC-AI, or if they sell some of those sites or something. We'll find that out in due time. All right, big thing for them is just continue to increase their hash rate as fast as they can. They got to get to scale. I keep saying scale for these miners, because once you get to scale, all the other costs like SG&A, regular operational costs and things like that get minimized as you reach scale. And that's kind of what we're seeing here with IREN, Cleanspark, Riot a little bit as well, Marathon. Once you get to that scale, those other costs that you have in there definitely get reduced compared to what your overall revenue is at that point. All right, so that's it on Cipher. Let's get into the next one here, which is going to be on Hive. So Hive Digital Technologies also reports their September. I think this should be October. I think they might have messed up here, because they put down October 4th. Or let me see. Did I read that wrong? Is that why they didn't put out any news until then? October 4th. We're already in November. Okay, never mind. I thought this was for November. All right, scratch that one. I was wondering why their production was the same as last month, 112. Okay, so never mind on that one. I just learned that, just figured that out. All right, so we're still waiting on Hive. So let's get into Terawulf. Okay, this is going to make it even easier. All right, so Terawulf reports their operational update for October. Right, this is the first full month, I think, that they have without having, what's the other? They have Nautilus. Nautilus was a site that they sold off their share of it, which was their JV site as well, joint venture in there. So this is going to be different numbers here a little bit for them, which is good, because it also makes it a little bit cleaner books for them also. So that's a good sign there. All right, but here's what we got. Self-mined Bitcoin was 150. Operating capacity was 8.1 exahash. Power cost 4.8 cents per kilowatt hour, basically. And then miner refresh program. So the miner refresh at Lake Mariner progressed with the replacement of older S19 Pro J Pro miners and M30S Plus models with approximately 12,200 S19 XP miners received in connection with the sale of the company's interest in the Nautilus cryptomine facility. So I think I still have to do some swapping things around a little bit in there. Power cost per Bitcoin was 36.7 thousand. Average operating hash rate was 6.8. So they were curtailing here a little bit, but we'll see. Management commentary, you guys can read that. Production operational update, you guys can read that as well. There's not much there to it. They're talking about still their HPC-AI stuff that they're doing there. Okay. Going back here to Terawulf. Terawulf right now has 382 million shares outstanding. Stock price 621. Market cap 2.3 billion. Great performance here over the last 12 weeks. 53% up from 12 weeks ago. 46 up from 8 weeks ago. 47 from 4 weeks ago. And then last week they were actually down just a little bit, 2.82%. Right. Current hash rate about 8.1. Future hash rate about 10. I think they're saying that they might get to like 13 exahash or something like that. Potentially. Bitcoin handle, they don't hodl anything there. And you can see the Bitcoin self-mined estimate here is 150 now. So it's been in line here ever since the halving event that we had in April. They've been kind of trading right around that range, 144 to 150, something like that. It's been in that line there. Revenue also increased to a little bit here to 9.8, down quite a bit from March, where they were 19.6 million at that point. They don't have anything here. You can see their hash rate. This used to be combined JV and self-mining all the way up through September, but then we had that JV being sold off. Now they're just self-mining here at 8.1 exahash. And then Bitcoin sold is now 150. They sold just what they mined for the self-mining. BTC per exahash efficiency actually increased here to 18.41, so that's actually pretty good there. And Bitcoin sold, how much they sold over the last 12 months. You can see all that. We'll get into all my numbers up top here in a second. Institutions did increase a little bit here to 272. Shares increased just a little bit as well to 173.4 million. Percentage is now up also a little bit to 45.56. We still have 5 strong buy ratings, 3 buy ratings, 0 holds, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price target stayed the same for high, $10. Average went down a little bit here to $6.56, and the low stayed the same at $3 for them. All right. Now looking at their miners, they said that they're getting rid of some of these SJ Pros. miners here, so I'm guessing it's these guys over here, and they're supposed to be getting some more of the XPs. I'm guessing it's going to be these over here. So some of these guys here that were attributed to the JV. I'm going to swap things around here because that's going to have an impact on them overall. But I'll work on that still. But right now, I just kept it the way it was with the JVs and everything else, and I didn't add any miners, I don't think, to it right now. So for October, did I add anything? No, I didn't add anything. So we're good there. That's kind of what we now have. We just have self-mining, which makes it a heck of a lot easier for me to keep track of it also. But I do have to do some work on this part. As before, we had the JV, which they had 25% in. They had like 1.9 exahash in that. They had the self-mine also. It's always a challenging when you're dealing with JVs and if the company doesn't provide the numbers for it. But which they did this year, so that was good. All right. Oh, what were they operating at? They were operating at 25.6 days, which is an improvement from September at 23.2 days roughly. This is an estimated number amount that I could figure out based on how much Bitcoin they mined, what was the Bitcoin price at the end of the month, or the average price for Bitcoin in October, along with the average hash rate for that month. So, and I've been pretty close to them for the most part when it comes to the numbers here. All right, going up here. Based on the last 3 quarters, which are actual, we got September, which is estimated right now. June quarter is actual along with the March quarter. So we're using that, plus the current quarter that we're in, which is estimated. I have them for a combined total of 134 million. I have them between 352 and 528. They're at 621. They appear to be like way overvalued. And I got to sneeze. Oh boy. No, excuse me. Wow, that just came out of nowhere. Based on the revenue that they had here for October times 12, I'm in between 316 and 474, right? So if you guys watch my videos, I keep saying that they are way overvalued based on their Bitcoin operations, which is true. They are just currently way overvalued. But that's not why they're getting valued on right now. They're getting more valued on the hype around the potential for HPC-AI play at their Lake Mariner facility, which they also have Druckenmiller, right, investing in them. That is having a huge impact on the stock, I think. There was somebody else that also invested that's a high-profile investor in them. And then just all the hype around HPC-AI on there. So that's kind of where the stock is being valued on that, more so than it is on their Bitcoin mining side of things, right? But a big thing for them is to continue to grow their Bitcoin as much as they can. I don't know how much they're going to grow if they get an HPC-AI customer. They might move things around for more HPC, depending. And we'll see how they do, right? So, but right now I do think that they are way overvalued for their Bitcoin mining side of things if you take out the HPC stuff. Potential, which they don't have anything yet. Yes, they're building out of sites there, but they don't have a signed contract with anybody yet. So that's why I say it's still a little bit of all hype at that point. Okay, so that's it. As always, Patreon members get access to all my spreadsheets. As always, link is down in the description for that. And let's get into you guys' Q&A side of things here, see what you guys have to say. And let's take a quick look to see if we got any updates on the electoral votes so far. So Trump's at 246 still, looks like. Let me see, refresh this as well. Where are we at? Okay, so it's still at 246 right now, it seems. And we're still waiting on some of these states that are battleground states that are, we'll have to wait. But it's looking pretty good so far. Hopefully he gets the win. All right, let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things here, and we'll see where that takes us. Wow. All right. Let me scroll back up. You guys have been pretty busy here in the comments. Let me see if there's any questions or anything like that. If you guys want to chat about anything. We have a lot of comments about Trump and things like that. Okay, why don't we do this? Instead of me trying to figure out questions from now on, if you have a question, which this is going to be delayed by about 10 to 15 seconds, if you have a question, put in a question in there and we'll get to your question now, because it's just going to be a mess trying to get through all this stuff. Let's see, where are we at here? Okay, let's see, Harris, okay. Did you watch Jason last on McNally Money? He explained the stock-based compensation. Yes, I did watch it, yeah. And he explained that they're basically giving it out. Now, if they don't reach their targets or their goals that they're supposed to reach to, that those stocks get put back into Riot, right? Coffers at that point. So I get that, but could they have done it a different way? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not, I don't have experience with publicly traded companies as far as being an employee there or a CEO or anything like that, or being on the board as far as the way it works there. But I would have thought they could have done it where if you reach these goals, you're going to get those shares, right? Why do they have to give them out in advance where it's looking like they're getting $30-40 million per quarter out in share-based compensation? Okay. If you reach those goals, give them out at that point, right? Put it out there. These are the goals. If you reach them at this stock price, you get to this exahash, things like that. This is what you're going to get, and everybody's aware of it. That's just my 2 cents. My 2 cents on it. Okay, Argo to $200. Oh gosh, I don't know. Depending where Bitcoin goes past 200,000, possible. Okay. Hey, so pretty sure I know, but your proxy vote for Bitfarms, I received mine this week. I got an email also this week as well. I think it was like on Friday. I think I got it in. So it was actually last week. But I'm going to be voting for it in favor. Get it done over with. Just be done with it. I'm fine with having 6 board members on there. Okay. Question: IREN, Cleanspark, Bitfarms. I sold IREN and now it's my smallest holding. Cleanspark biggest, then Bitfarms. Thank you. Oh, great. You're welcome. Geez, I gotta sneeze again. Hold on. Let me see if I can mute myself here. Okay, that went away for a second. Okay. Let's see. Question: did Jason Les discuss Bitfarm situation? I didn't see it yet. I didn't. No, nothing that I heard on Bryson McNally's money. On that topic. I think he kept it pretty far away from it for right now. He did talk about that they took a loss on it. Was it 30-some odd million loss on it on owning the shares there, and that's about it, I think. Okay. Will this be a good catalyst to get us to an all-time high with Trump possibly winning? Is that what you're talking about there? I'm sorry if I got the sniffles. I think my allergies kicked back in right now. What else we got here? Okay, let's see. Jason Les is going to share the shares of Bitfarms and buy miners with it for Riot platforms to grow their hash rate. Okay. Let's see. Bitcoin's on a run. Where do you see the next resistance levels? Cleanspark was 24 when coin was 73 last March. Do you think it go up to the all highs? Yeah, I do think so. We had the halving event. That's a big catalyst for the miners to go down in price at that point. And then where's Bitcoin right now? Is Bitcoin still at? All right, Bitcoin's at 74,660. So we're coming back up. It's looking pretty good. 700,000 by the end of the year. I still think so. But we'll see. Okay. If you had cash, which miner would you choose to invest it in right now? If I only had to pick one, it would probably be Cleanspark, I think. If I could spread it out between a couple, I think I would still put it back into Cleanspark, IREN, and Bitfarms right now. Yeah. Jason didn't talk about the Bitfarms other than lost. Yeah, that's kind of what I remember. Where do you think BTC will reach this week? I think maybe close to 80,000 if we don't break it. Hi Seb, how high do you think Bitfarms will go end of year? End of year depends where Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin goes to 100,000, I could see them being, that's only, what is that now? Like 50% for Bitcoin to go up that high. So we're looking at maybe Bitfarms going up maybe 2x from where it is right now, 2 to 3x, I would think. And that is if they report that they're getting 15 exahash here in November, and then they're going to be installing another 6 exahash in December. I think that would be the catalyst for it. Let's see, already covered that one. Can minus 3x by the end of the year? Possibly, yeah. Some of them I think will. Seb, we are at new highs, rate cuts on Friday. How fast are we looking upwards on all this good news? Really good. I think, yeah. I mean, right now we're in price discovery mode in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's above the previous all-time high. So we're going to be in price discovery mode until we figure that out, where that's going to be. What are your miner price targets at 100,000 BTC? So like I said, it's basically 50% up for Bitcoin from where it's at right now. I'd be looking for the miners to do at least at that point, 2 to 3x, if not more. Let's see. Will the miners reach their peak this year? Do you think? No, I think they'll reach a peak, but I don't think it will be the peak that they're going to reach. I think they're going to reach a higher peak next year. Let's see. Justin, hello from New Zealand. How you doing? Holding CLSK, IREN, Bitfarms, and Mara. Nice. Great choices there. Okay. Richard says, Senate has flipped. This means BTC will be voted in as National Strategic Reserve asset. Okay. Well, that'd be nice. Right. Just remember, a lot of the candidates talk about things that they're going to do for you that they never do. So, okay. Trust but verify, right? We know that what he said. Now we just need to hold his feet to the fire to make sure that he does it. Heads up, mute yourself and blow your nose. I wish I could. I don't have nothing to blow it into. Sorry about the sniffles, allergies. It'll go away in a couple minutes, I think. Gonna break all-time high again. Let's go. Okay. LOL, don't mute you and blow your nose. Yeah, I just don't have nothing to blow it into. Otherwise, I would. Let's see. BTC trying 75k again. Yeah, it's trying it. It's getting. There we go. It is getting close. I mean, we're $400 away from it, so it's not too bad. And sorry if you hear my kids. My kids are upstairs playing with the dog right now. Hold on, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to try to snort this stuff out. Oh, okay. Hopefully that's going to be better for a little bit. Where do I go? Q&A. Okay. Okay. D-Rag says, so much love. What price does Bitcoin have to be at now for Riot to reach its previous high at $70 and BTC price for Riots to reach 100? That also depends on Riot, right? Can they get closer to the 95% target uptime? If they can do that, then I think we would need Bitcoin to be like above 150,000, 200,000, somewhere around there. And if you're talking about $100 per Bitcoin, you're looking at Bitcoin being at 225,000 plus, I'm guessing, at this point. So hopefully that answers your question as to why. All right. Set prediction on Bitfarms and Cleanspark tomorrow. Percentage-wise, oh, geez, I don't know. As long as Bitcoin stays where it's at right now, we could see, double-digit percentage gains on these guys. Some of them might be closer to 20% even. Who knows? And it's anybody's guess. It depends where the money's going to be thrown from the market into it. Okay. Can you please show the monthly BTC blocks? Yeah, it is right there. I think this is what you're talking about here. All right, so this is the monthly. November's up right now, 1.4. Right, if we're following the same cycle that we had in 2016, 2015, we had 5% in 2016. We had 14% in October. We're at 10% in October this year. It's looking like it. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to get blown out from that, and we have actually a different number to look at potentially. But I mean, based on what we saw here, September being in the green along with here, it's lining up to be like one of those. So we'll see where we end up at. But it'd be nice to get that blown out and then also get December to beat that as well. I mean, that'd be fantastic. We'd be probably north of 100,000 at that point. Okay, going back here. All right. I think that is it. Yeah, I think I've caught up to all your guys' questions here. I don't know if you guys want to have a chat about anything else. Let's take a look at let me see where I can find out where Trump's at right now on the standings. And where's it at? Live Donald Trump. Let's see here. Reload on this one here. Let me see. There we go. All right, what do we got here? Okay, 246, 177. All right, we still have a ways to go. We'll find out tomorrow who the actual winner is. But right now it's trending in Trump's direction. Bitcoin seems to think the same thing. I mean, we're at $250 away from getting the 75,000 mark again. And I mean, look at this 4-hour chart. That is what you call almost like a guy candle here, almost. It was up 7.16%. So that's almost a guy candle in Bitcoin. At the 1 hour was also doing really well here. We had a little pullback here. I mean, we're bought here a little bit on 1 hour chart as well. I'd like to see the 15 hour also. We've been overbought here on the 15, but look at this. When you look at it going back to roughly about here, look at the price that we were at, 72,377, and we went all the way up to 75,000, right? So we can be in the overbought territory for quite an extended period of time before things get exhausted, and then we actually pull back down a little bit. We'll keep it on. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see what we got as far as questions. Okay. Let's see. Where was I at? No, you guys, okay. You guys typed in a bunch of stuff here. Hold on a second. Okay, did that. Okay, did that. Ed says, oh, we had similar 2016. When do you think the miners will top? I think if the miners are going to top, they're going to top sometime in 2025. I'm still thinking it's going to be like in the third quarter potentially. Okay. How do you see MicroStrategy other than just a so-called ETF? See it as a bigger possibility. I don't think it's an ETF. ETF would just follow Bitcoin basically. They're like a 2 to 3x on top of Bitcoin. So that's kind of the way I look at them. Ed says 2 tops probably. That would be the same cycle that we had back in 2021, right? I don't think that's going to be the case. So were you happy with the Cleanspark report, the mining report, or the coverage report that, was it State Street or somebody like that? Can't remember what the name of the company was that initiated coverage with the $24 price target on them. But I was happy with the production report from Cleanspark. They were only like a few BTC off from beating Marathon for the month. If you look at just Marathon's self-mining, not the JVs included at that point. Okay. And that's a big if, reaches 21 excess by the end, could price be $10, depending on where Bitcoin's at that point also, right? So there's multiple variables that go into play with these guys. Sentiment is one thing. Their operations, execution, all that stuff goes into play with the miners. And then we also have Riot on their backs. I don't know how that's going to play out in the bull run. I'm hoping that's a non-issue, but you just never know. Richard says, I hear fireworks I live in Red County in California. Nice. The call says, stay live and report on the election and possible outcomes would be interesting to in your take. When do you think the results will be in? BTC woohoo. I think the results will be in tomorrow. As long as it's not too close in those swing states. If it's too close where we're within, a couple hundred votes or something like that, then it might drag out, which I don't want. I want a nice decisive victory for whether it's going to be for Trump or for Kamala, because I just don't want this to be prolonged. But right now it's looking like Trump might win. Okay. I think you said people are watching the election tonight. Yeah, you guys are going to be watching that. I'm going to be watching that too here once we're done here in a little bit. We're only going for half an hour. Let's see. I thought Trump winning was priced in. No, because there's no guarantees on it. Yes, you had the poly market or whatever, the betting on it was going for Trump, but there's no guarantees in that. Do you think Peanut and Fred have been avenged? If Trump comes out the winner, then I think they're going to be avenged. Okay, question, is your thesis still intact for Bitfarms and Cleanspark to greatly outperform BTC going forward? The next, it is, right? Bitfarms is challenging that thesis, but Cleanspark, I think, is going to definitely do well. Bitfarms is going to be a challenge, I think, but we'll see. Let's see. I asked you because let me see. I asked because the BTC has gone from 40 to 75 cents at the beginning of the year. Bitfarms and Cleanspark haven't made any of these past 10 months, but they were also up much higher when Bitcoin was, right, in the last prior to that. So Bitcoin had a new all-time high before the halving event, which has never happened. Then we had the halving event. That always plays a negative part in Bitcoin miners. So we kind of expected that things to kind of play out this way where the miners were coming down still into it. The miners were actually going into the halving like largely in the green, huge price appreciation, which we didn't see that last cycle. We saw miners actually going down in value while Bitcoin was going up a little bit. So it was a different cycle altogether. So things still worked out pretty well, I think. There's no resistance line after all-time high. Yeah, it's basically price discovery at that point. You're going to get to a certain point, though, where I think it's going to get exhausted a little bit. We're going to need to pull back. Even in the 2021 cycle, the 2017 cycle, Bitcoin would go on a rip and then would come back down 15, 20% or something like that. Kind of take a breather, and it would continue going back up. We're going to still see that. It's not going to be like we're going to just continue to go up without any downfalls there. Let's see. So if Bitfarms goes down tomorrow, will you sell? I don't think that's going to happen with Bitcoin being up right now. It had a nice day today also. I don't see that happening. But if it's down, definitely have to look into why it's down. See if we can figure something out. Hi, Sib, do you think hedge funds are purchasing shares of Bitcoin ETFs at the same time they're betting that Bitcoin's price will decrease by taking short positions in Bitcoin futures contracts? Could be. They're usually hedging their bets, right? Emic says, holy moly, this is so exciting. Yeah. Mining report. Which mining report? Sib, do you think the miners on average do double-digit gains tomorrow? I do think so, yeah. Based on what we're seeing here with Bitcoin right now, yeah. And I got to sneeze again. Oh, I feel it coming on. You know where you get that little tickle in your nose? Oh, I can feel it. It's coming on. I got my finger prepared on the mute button just in case. Let's see. Talked about that. Bitfarms has to open over $2 tomorrow. That would be nice. Why is the market ripping on Trump's winning? Weren't the odds in his favor? The odds were in his favor, but it was just never. Right, there's always risk to that, right? Let's see. Minnesota turning blue. Is it turning blue? Let me see. Where's my numbers here? Minnesota. I still see it in the red. At least on the chart, on the table that I'm seeing, or the graph that I'm seeing here. Minnesota's still in the red, at least here. That hasn't been updated here in a couple minutes. Let's see. Is that the case? Did that turn blue? Okay, come on. It's still red. Okay, get rid of that. Where are we at now? 246, 189. Okay, so Harris got a couple more electoral votes there. Okay, Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at? Almost 75,000 again. 74,934. Oh, you guys can't see it. Duh. It'd be nice if I actually showed it to you guys. We're at, we're close. What did we get to here on this one on the high? 74,974 on this 1 hour or 15-minute chart. 1 hour chart. Yeah, we're going back up. This is nice. This is very nice. I'll take it. We need a nice 9 to 12 months to make up for all the misery that we've had with the miners over the last 2 years or so. All right, where are we at here? Okay, talked about that. Talked about that already. Minnesota in blue. Okay. People need to hold and not sell, but the problem is that people trade these instead of holding. Yeah, there's quite a few that trade them, and there's also quite a few that also hold them. What else? Trump looks like the winner. Yep, possibly. So do you think Cleanspark crosses $20? Yes. I mean, depending on when you're talking about it. I think it might be even this year, might be in the next month possibly as well. Okay. Why would Terawulf spend $6 million per megawatt building out 72 megawatts on a tier 3 data center capacity without knowing they have a client? Would you spend money like that on a pipe dream? Well, they were saying it's a target. Well, they did a test pilot first, and then they're saying they're building it out, right? But if you have something there, isn't it your fiduciary? I don't know if it's fiduciary duty, but I think it's just your shareholder duty to report it that you have it. Could there be just some interest in that, right? You have a COI in place or a letter of intent or something like that, but you don't have a guarantee yet. So I need to see a contract signed, dated. This is what we're going to be paying you for the next X amount of years for this amount of money. Then I'll believe it. Until I see that, to me, it's still all hype. Okay. Trump is going to start a tariff war. If you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast with Elon Musk yesterday, Joe actually asked Elon, what are his thoughts on tariffs? And Musk said that he's not in favor of them. There's a way to do it, but blanket out tariff, it's not good. So hopefully Elon has a little bit of an influence on Trump when it comes to that kind of stuff, because he deals with countries all across the world where they bring in parts for their automotives and things like that, and even possibly for the rockets that they build. So hopefully he listens a little bit there. So Bitfarms at 75k BTC. Will Bitfarms break to 50? It'll get close, I think. We'll get close definitely to that, I think. Let's see. Last time miners were 74k, or last time BTC was 74k, the miners were much higher. Cleanspark is example, literally half the price. Yeah, and that's mainly because of the halving event. The halving event had a huge impact on the miners. And Bitcoin went into a new all-time high before the event, which has never happened before. So it's been a different setup this time around. Okay, John says, also after they announce their customer, will you give them flowers? No, I won't give them flowers. I'll give them a nice pat on the back and say, great job, right? But right now, we just need to see it. Or we continue to downplay the stock because you didn't buy any. That's not because I didn't buy any. It's because I didn't see the operational greatness that I'm looking for. I wouldn't call it greatness, but I would just say operational, how to put this? Operational uptime, operational efficiencies, all that stuff that I didn't see with them, right? And that's the reason I didn't get into it. I'm into Bitcoin miners. I'm not into HPCI plays. The HPCI play came out of nowhere basically about 6 months ago when CoreWeave partnered with Core Scientific, right? And then everybody kind of jumped on the bandwagon. We had a report from Morgan Stanley, I think, also saying how big of an impact HPC is going to have on it. And then you started seeing companies that all of a sudden started to talk about HPC, which they never talked about HPC before. But all of a sudden, it's in the it's the hype thing or the in thing, and they're doing pilot programs, they're doing this, they're doing that, and yet we still see very little as far as when it comes to actual contracts with them. So the only two that have gotten it is Core and Bit Digital, whereas everybody else. Some of the other guys have some smaller contracts, but nothing to the scale and size that Core has with CoreWeave. And until we see that, I'm going to be skeptical. All right. At 104,000 BTC, some say is the top for BTC. What do you think IREN will be at that point? At 104,000? I think it should be at least 2 to 3x, to be honest. Okay, let's see here. Bitfarms CEO Ben, big interview tomorrow on the Power Channel. He better talk about 21x hash. That interview could make or break the stock. Yeah, they better ask him about that, right? What's going on in Paraguay? Is there any issues there? Are there any issues elsewhere? It needs to come clean. Let's see. Bitcoin up almost 10% tonight. Miners get better, go to 20% tomorrow. Plus, yeah, that would be good. I would expect. I'm hoping. I'll be happy if we get like 15%. That still would be good. But if we get 20 some percent, that'd be fantastic. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at here? Okay, just looking at the price of Bitcoin here really quick. MicroStrategy has run up so much. Why are miners lagging behind? Oh, excuse me. The reason is MicroStrategy does not mine, right? So they don't have to keep up with the network hash rate. They don't have to put out a bunch of capital for the miners, infrastructure, megawatts, site deals, all that stuff that goes into it. They just buy Bitcoin and they get a 2 to 3x return on that. So that's the main reason why. Okay. Hey, Seb, I just wanted to point out that 32,000 BTC moved to a new wallet by Mt. Gox. What are the odds these clowns sell them tomorrow? Gosh, I don't know. Hopefully they don't. If you held on to it for that long and you think we're in a bull market, I think a lot of people have maybe learned by now. Or at least I would think that this is going to be the bull run. This is not the time to sell. But if somebody's downtrodden and they need the cash, then they're going to sell, right? There's not much you can do about it. Okay. Hey, Seb, can you update price in USD for Bitfarms if BTC does? Yeah, I'm saying, so I'm pricing 2 to 3x. So we're looking at maybe $4 to $6, somewhere around there is kind of where I would expect it to be. Roger says, I really would have wanted to see if Mike Alfred would have paid out his prize. I think he would have. Yeah, I think he would have. $7 price target for Wolf at BTC break price of 150,000. That's a tough one. Where is their hash rate going to be at that point? Are they going to have also HPCI customer there? Not an easy question. I think right now, like I said before, I think they're overvalued for their Bitcoin mining, right? They're being valued more on the HPCI hype. So it's a tough question for me to figure that out from where they should be. Okay, play market has Trump now winning at 91%. Okay, nice. What if the bull market began with BTC at 15,000? If so, this would be wave 5 and the final leg up on the bull market. Yes, well, I think it's going to be, well, depending on how you look at the Elliott waves and things like that, this is going to be the next leg up, right? The next wave. The next wave is going to be from here till wherever we get to the new all-time high for this cycle, whether it's going to be 150,000, 120,000, 200,000, wherever that's going to be, right? That's the next leg up on it. Okay, let's see. Bitcoin likes to top at market caps, so 2 trillion would be would look like a nice with around 100,000. Well, okay, what if it goes to like 3 trillion? Could be that. What are the chances miners open red tomorrow? Very, very small, to almost nil, I would think. With Bitcoin ripping right now, I don't know who would be selling miners tomorrow. Okay. Do you think if there's a recount, BTC going to crash hard? Oh gosh, that would, I think it would depend on how much of a recount there or how thin the margins are, and the recount on it. We'll have to wait and see on that. Okay. Am I mad for continuing to DCA in Bitfarms and starting to throw red flags? I'm not mad yet. You might be. I'm not surprised that people would be upset with the Bitfarms. It's definitely not been performing to what I ever would expect it to, but none of the other companies have Riot on their shoulder. SNH says everyone, including Seb, was negative on Wolf when it was $2, and now you guys are doing the same thing with Bitfarms. Just hold and wait, and don't be market timer. Good luck to all. Yeah. Let's see. But I was negative on Wolf because of their operations and the debt they had, not because of a possible HPCI play. So, got to take that into consideration as well. Let's see. We'd really like to see the data you have about Bitcoin miner holdings against global liquidity. Check out Michael Howell from Cross Border Capital talking about how central banks coordinate. Okay. I'll see if I can take a look at that. Okay. Sub updated dollar price target for Riot, IREN, and Cleanspark. Right now, I still have IREN getting to about $70. Cleanspark $60 to $70 right now. Right, that's going to change once I see the updated numbers for the shares outstanding. After this quarter results are provided, or Q3 results are provided. Riot, I think, depending on their operational uptime, can they increase it to more than 95% uptime? Then that should help. I'm thinking somewhere around $50 to $60 for them as well, maybe higher, depending on how they do. Miners selling established market bottoms and holding and mining drive market tops. Okay. Progress increased energy rates on BTC miners. Maybe they are having second thoughts about building out there. Maybe that's why we need clarification, right? Okay. Let's see. Georgia and Pennsylvania most likely going to Trump, and probably Michigan too. Arizona is too close. Okay. We'll wait and see what happens there. Okay. Hi, Seb. Very happy for you tonight. Thank you. I'm happy for all you guys, right? Everybody that's stuck through this. It's been tough. So happy for you as well. Molly's looking up, and you may dream of that. Shelby Cobra later. Thank you. Me too. Prefer a blue with the white racing stripes. That is my choice. Blue with white racing stripes. So I'd be right there with you. Let's see. Where'd I go? That one. Is it possible the miners are lagging because there's less money in the market this cycle? Is there less money in the market this cycle? I don't think so. What sectors do you think will flourish during Trump's presidency? Energy, whether it's oil, natural gas, nuclear possibly as well. What else? I'm trying to think what else we might... those are the ones I can really think of at the top of my bed. Bitcoin here. Right, miners as well. Data centers potentially, HPC AI, those types of things. With Musk being in there, he's big into AI. We might see some legislation on HPC AI and general, what is it called? General artificial intelligence. Some things on that. What else? I have to think more about it, but that's the kind of things I would think. Okay. Dino says, thank you, America, from Germany. Thank God. All right. Okay, they're saying Trump may have Pennsylvania in the bag. That would be great. Let's see. Harris needs Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, but Trump is pulling away in both, and voters are running out. We may know in a couple hours. Okay, cool. Let's see. I have some miners from years ago that are all down 70%. For example, right at an average of 37. Do you think it's worth averaging down? Yeah. If you haven't been averaging down yet, definitely try to do it now. The best thing was to do it in the bear market when miners were going down, and they bottomed out at the end of 2022, right? If you were averaging down, that was the best thing you could have done at that point. Okay, BTC at 74.7. From past weekly candles, I can see miners 180% gains. Yep. Yesterday I sold Wolf. I was up 50%. I added to IREN. Now I only have IREN, all eggs in one basket. Not smart. Seb, what do you think? I like IREN a lot. Right. I don't like being in one because if something happens to that miner for whatever reason, you could be in trouble at that point. So I do like spreading the eggs out into at least a couple of baskets, at least 3, I would say. Let's see, how many BTC mined, Hive mined? That was my mistake. I thought it was for October update. It was actually for September update, so we don't have that number for it. So I got to get that updated. How much does BTC IREN hold? None. Will BTC holding miners go up more? That's the question there. We saw IREN go up quite nicely. They went up to like $16, if you remember, just a couple months back. But then they've fallen back down like everybody else has. So I don't know if that's going to be a huge impedance for them to go up in value, as well as some of the other ones. Because right now, in the past at least, the miners that did have a huge hodl position, that was seen as a proxy or ETF basically to Bitcoin, right? You don't need that anymore because you have Bitcoin ETFs. You have the Bitcoin 2X as well. You could do that. You have MicroStrategy, which has a heck of a lot more. So I don't think there's that much. Yes, it will help them out with the FSB rules, right, if they have it. So I'm hoping the companies that do have it now will actually use it to their advantage and sell it into the bull run and then use it to pay for growth in the bear market or whatever it might be. I think that might work out the best. All right. Private says, I have 1/3 in Bitfarms, 1/3 in Cleanspark, and 1/3 between BTC and Ethereum. Do you think I should shave some off to add in maybe a quarter of IREN or just leave it alone unless I get really good opportunity? That's going to be your call. I think that's pretty good. If you could get another miner in there, that'd be great. I'm not that bullish on Ethereum. I think Ethereum will do okay. I think Bitcoin will do better. I own Bitcoin, but also haven't been really buying into it in the last couple of years. Let's see. Seb, do you think HODL will hurt IREN? I just talked about that a little bit. I don't know. It hasn't hurt it in the past. Will it hurt it going forward? It's going to definitely not maybe get us high of a valuation in market cap, but I don't think it's going to be a dog in any sense of that. Okay. Mainstream media focusing on House and other votes, giving up on Harris quickly. Oh, interesting. All right. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming in to watch. As I know, you have a lot of options. There's a lot of people out there talking about Bitcoin and presidential election that's happening right now and everything else on Twitter. So I really appreciate you guys coming in here. We're going to call it a day. Been going for approximately what now? Well, almost an hour here. So we'll call it a day. See where things end up tomorrow. I'm thinking that it looks like maybe Trump's going to be the winner here. But until fully declared as the winner, we're going to say it's still a little too early to tell. And then we'll talk about tomorrow, whatever happens tomorrow. So we'll get through other news that we have tomorrow. I think somebody's reporting their quarter results as well, I believe. I got to look to see. I don't think anybody provided those today. So I think tomorrow somebody's reporting. But we'll talk about that. We'll see where Bitcoin goes. We'll see where everything else goes. It's been fun. It's been exciting right now, right? Bitcoin pumping to a new all-time high. That is fantastic. And hopefully this continues going forward for us because we need it. We've had a rough time here in the last basically 6 to 9 months, I would say, with the miners. So we definitely need that pump. We need the miners to go up much higher than where they are right now to then possibly retire in a nice boat someplace, if that's what you want to do. All right? But that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming in. Love you all. Have a great night. Don't stay up too late. I think most of you guys have to work tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow also. I'm going to stay up a little bit more just to watch to see what's going on with the presidential election. But I may be posting some stuff on Twitter, if anything. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.